In October 2025, the world blinked when Donald Trump's administration quietly signed a $20 billion investment and currency swap deal with Argentina. The news exploded across Washington and Buenos Aires alike. Why would the US pump billions into a struggling South American economy that defaulted multiple times in the last 2 decades? The official narrative was simple: to stabilize Argentina's peso, boost reserves, and calm the markets. But let's be honest, nothing Trump does is ever that simple. Beneath the surface lies a strategic, political, and economic game that could reshape the entire Western Hemisphere. At first glance, it looked like a bailout, but in reality, it was a power move. Trump's team wanted to pull Argentina away from China's growing influence. For years, Beijing had been flooding Latin America with loans, infrastructure projects, and trade deals, gaining control over key sectors. Washington, under Trump, decided to fight back, starting with Javier Milei, Argentina's libertarian president, who shares Trump's political DNA: anti-establishment, pro-market, loud, and unapologetic. By backing Milei financially, the US wasn't just saving a country, it was buying geopolitical loyalty. The message was clear: stick with us and we'll make you solvent again. The timing wasn't random either. The deal dropped right before Argentina's midterm elections, when Milei desperately needed economic relief to keep his reform agenda alive. For Washington, it was the perfect window: help Milei win, secure another US ally in South America, and send a signal to China: Latin America is still America's backyard. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called it a strategic partnership, but everyone knew what it really was: a global chess move disguised as economics. Financially, the immediate effects looked good. Argentina's bonds spiked, the peso steadied, and foreign investors sighed in relief. Markets love US backing. It means less risk, more capital flow. But here's the catch: this wasn't free money. In exchange for support, Argentina agreed to open up its economy to American corporations, cut state subsidies, and drastically reduce its dependence on Chinese credit lines. It's the old playbook of influence: money in exchange for access and alignment. Trump didn't just invest in Argentina. He invested in a future sphere of influence stretching from Texas to Tierra del Fuego. Critics, however, were quick to attack. Why send billions abroad while Americans struggle with inflation and crumbling infrastructure? They asked. Farmers in the Midwest were furious. The U.S. soy market had been losing ground to Argentina's booming exports, and this deal, in their eyes, made it worse. Trump, once the face of America first, now looked like he was putting Argentina first. But the administration fired back, arguing that the deal was about long-term stability. If Argentina collapses, the entire region could spiral into chaos, pushing millions more into poverty and instability, and handing Beijing another economic victory. Politically, it's a high-risk, high-reward gamble. If Milei's reforms succeed, Trump will be hailed as the man who rebuilt Latin America's faith in capitalism. If they fail, the headlines will write themselves: Trump wastes $20 billion on another default. The stakes couldn't be higher. For Argentina, it's survival. For the US, it's dominance. Trump knows the global economy isn't just about dollars, it's about control. Whoever funds the crisis runs the narrative. Behind closed doors, analysts whisper about the real returns. With Argentina opening its energy, lithium, and agricultural sectors, American corporations will have first pick on contracts, exploration rights, and infrastructure projects. It's not charity, it's investment disguised as diplomacy. And if the US can corner Argentina's lithium reserves, the key component for electric vehicle batteries, it could undercut China's monopoly on green tech. That's not just economic strategy. That's geopolitical warfare with a smiling face. Still, the risk is massive. Argentina's history with foreign debt is a minefield. The country has defaulted 9 times since independence. Inflation remains stubborn, and political chaos lurks under every policy shift. Betting $20 billion on such instability takes nerve or desperation. But Trump has always thrived on chaos. He sees volatility not as danger, but as opportunity. If this gamble works, he can claim to have rebuilt America's influence in the region with one bold move. If it fails, he'll blame the corrupt Argentinian elite and move on. Either way, the headline will carry his name. What's certain is that this deal marks a new phase of US interventionism, Trump style. No speeches about democracy, no soft diplomacy, just hard cash, power, and results. It's the art of the deal on a continental scale. And whether you love him or hate him, you cannot deny one thing: Trump just put the United States back at the center of Latin America's game board. The question is, who's really playing who? The question is, who's really playing who?